Risings. This is Mr. Westbrooks, educator, astronumerologist, and co-host of Unread Book Review with Nick and Roo. Let me put y'all up on this new ebook series that's here to educate our people of all ages, especially the youth, about our collective power, both historically, presently, and beyond. Voices of the Diaspora, written by Knowledge Born Allah, is unique in that it takes the traditional e-reading experience and infuses it with audio recordings, revolutionary songs, and revolutionary music videos. Some of the topics include stories about Black entrepreneurs, stories about Black women who have shaped our world, and stories of Black innovators who've impacted the field of STEAM, plus much more. If you want to know more about this series and what it has to offer, check out our unread episode featuring Knowledge Born Allah, who was also the founder and host of Do the Knowledge Radio. After the interview, go log on to dotheknowledgeradio.com so you can get your copy of Voices of the Diaspora so that you, your family, your community, and your world can be inspired by the stories of visionaries shaping our future and honoring our past. Thank you in advance for your support and continue striving to be the best version of yourself. Peace.
Mrs. Malcolm X, first I want to thank you for talking with us under these trying circumstances, and your husband did not die in vain in this cause and struggle. During the course of his lifetime and his career, did he ever discuss with you the aims of this new organization he founded last year, the Organization for Afro-American Unity?
Well, yes. In particular, one of the aims was internationalizing the problem of the Afro-American in this country. He felt that as long as in a few states we were begging for cups of coffee or things of this sort, that we would not receive rights all over. Just as the white man is able to go all over the face of the earth and receive the same dignity and respect in one country as he does in the other, the Afro-American or the African, wherever he goes, receive indignation and disrespect. And he felt by internationalizing the problem, by helping the Africans, and in turn the African helping us to get our rights, that a Black man, an Afro-American or an African, could go all over the face of the earth and receive the same dignity, the same respect as any white man. And I think that this was one of the aims, and it was a very good aim.
Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio, place for Knowledge is Born. It's your host, Knowledge Born Allah, and we are here on the last day of March. You understand what I'm saying? And we got this Magical Matriarchs in March series, and I am very excited to have in our midst today a divine healer who personifies the sort of excellence that you just saw in the Honorable Dr. Betty Shabazz. Peace and blessings be upon her. May Allah be pleased with her for her life and her legacy. We have one who carries on a legacy of healing, a woman of an example, a mother, a sister, an auntie, a niece, a divine matriarch whose spirit of renewal, courageous, powerful, and an intellect, a true scholar in our midst. So in the same vein that I mentioned Dr. Betty Shabazz, I mentioned one of my queen mothers, one of my role models, and one of my spiritual correctors and teachers here. MaWuLisa Temple, MaWuLisa Roo is here with us. Welcome, Mother. How are you?
Good evening, good evening. Grand evening to everyone. Eid Mubarak to all my brothers and sisters. I am honored to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm glad I caught this matriarch series. I didn't think I was going to make it into March, but I'm here. Hey. I'm here, and I'm glad to be here on the last day. It's a blessed day. Any day that I get to be with my brothers and sisters and share and learn and just, be a family is fantastic. And I'm always grateful for that. So thank you for having me.
The honor and privilege is mine, mother. You already know. I don't play no games about you, not even the slightest, okay? Not even a smidgen. That used to be the measurement. Like, let me get a little smidgen. You know what I'm saying? A little smidgen.
Not a little smidgen. Absolutely.
Oh man,
Absolutely.
we here. So before I get into allowing you to be scholastic and comprehensive, I want to thank you before the world. For the family you came from the mother you come from, and the mother that you've become to your children and all of your spiritual children around the world. Thank you for the years of research, the years of teaching, the years of study, the years of sacrifice of your own comfort to bring us a word of truth and to speak that truth to power, whether we liked it or not. The plant medicine, the building, the craftsmanship, the embodiment of what comes from the womb of the mind and the womb of the universe into reality. Thank you for your years of service and building an institution with healers in mind, in spirit and in truth. So I wanted to honor you in that way first before I get all into the other spaces. And when I started this series, you were the first one in mind. You were the first one in mind. Honoring you honors my mother. You understand what I'm saying? So, as mother of civilization, as mother of the universe, take us through the space of a real assessment on how things are going in regards to the treatment of Mother Earth and Mother Universe from Mother herself.
Woo.
Take your time.
Can we be done? No. First and foremost, thank you so much. It's beautiful to receive flowers, while we can still appreciate them. Early this month, MaWuLisa Temple took some time to do a private Zoom where we can thank our sisters coming together, thank them for all the work that they've done for being mothers, wives, sisters, nurses, all the things. My mother used to say, man may work from sun to sun, but woman's work is never done. So we were there to honor those women in those spaces. So believe me, I do not carry this burden, this mantle, this thing, this great thing called life by myself. I have amazing sisters and brothers to do it with, and we are honoring the women. So I am grateful to be amongst the women who get to honor the women and also be one that has been honored. So thank you. And I would like to thank my children, my biological children, my spiritual children, all of my grandchildren, because they have continued to make me want to do this work. You mentioned my mother, who I miss dearly. She was a matriarch, and her and my grandmother and my aunts, they are sorely missed, because surely I could use them in this time when things are moving in the direction that they are. But I am grateful that they did give me some preparation for this time and for things to come. So I wanted to give that honor and praise. Where we are, let me say, I can just say I'm disappointed, because I am. Sometimes I'm really disappointed in how easy it is for us all to get distracted by the things going on around us, and not understanding that they are affecting the things inside of us and not allowing us to be the best versions of ourselves. We were created in these beautiful images, these beautiful bodies, this microcosm, the macrocosm, and we use so very little of our power. And when we do use it, we use it in reckless ways that don't allow us to truly benefit the people around us, i.e. our family and our community, our jobs, all the things. We forget all of these places are ours. All of these spaces are ours. The people at the grocery store, the people you see at the gas station, all of these people are yours. They are part of your world. And, and you're responsible for them on a certain level. And people say that nobody feels responsibility like mother. I can't say that because I've never been a father, but I do have some amazing brothers who are fathers. And I can say, yourself included, the level of concern and compassion that you have is what allows us as mothers to continue the fight, because we are feeling very unprotected. We felt unprotected for a long time, but now it's at a point where we have no choice but to stand back and force, if you will, our brothers to take the spear and the shield up and do the work. So I'm honored to be a part of that. What's going on in the world right now? I am a firm believer in being the world, but not of it. It's nonsense. It's a lot of nonsense going on, a lot of distraction going on. And when we allow that, we take so much from ourselves and we lose so much of the beauty of this thing that is called life.
Me. Okay. How do we reconnect? In Islam, it say, don't cut off relations with the wounds that bore you. What is the process of remembering and reconnecting and reestablishing in spirit and in truth, physically, mentally, emotionally, psycho-spiritually, whatever level of modality, what is the prescription for the affliction of us being negligent and derelict in our duties to the wounds that gave us birth?
Well, it's a very good question. It's a very complex question. It's not one that can just be answered in the course of this conversation. And so with those who love to continue conversations, know that MaWuLisa Temple, we are always having these conversations. So please feel free to join us. First, I'd like to just say self-awareness is where we have to begin. People talk about knowledge of self. A big part of that is being aware of what you know and what you don't know, what you think you know and what you don't know. I let people know all the time, I know nothing in comparison to what there is to know, and I know a lot. So with that being said, there's a continual need to explore self, who we are, what we are, why we do what we do, and all of these different things. And a part of that is connecting with the wounds that bore us. In these past years, I want to say almost about a decade, we've seen a lot of stuff on the internet where they have children ripping their parents apart, blaming everything on the mother, blaming everything. Well, first they was blaming it on the absent father, then they blame everything on the mother. And sometimes I used to ask the question, well, who did you want to raise you? If the father wasn't good enough, the father didn't stay around and the mother did the best she could, and you telling her she did a horrible job, like who raised you? Well, who raised you? And some people will say the streets. All of us had our fair share of the streets, myself included. I've been on my own since I was 14 years old, so I know that the streets do what they do, but at the same time, we tend to forget that our mothers are people too. They are people too, and they did not get a manual the day that we were born to tell us how to navigate, or tell them how to navigate this world with us. And especially coming from our communities, we just did a lot of what we saw. We did what Mama did. We did what Big Mama did, and in that, some of it, what they call toxic now. Yes, some of it could be labeled as toxic, but at the same time, you'll find that many of those people that say that they got the whoopings and all that stuff like that. You see that those are a different breed of people. You know, those are a different breed of people, and they have a different understanding of what the world is. And it took that generation that took that punishment to be able to deal with the children and the youth that we have today. I'm gonna let you know, you cannot be soft dealing with this generation today. You have to have a strong nurturing hand, not one that folds under pressure. And that's what a lot of people would have done had they not had these big mamas and mamas that they so easily dismiss. So one of the things I would encourage first is looking at the relationship with your mother. You know, whether she was there, whether she wasn't there, whether you felt she was good, whether you felt she was bad, that is all relative. However, it's a time and a place for us as adults to be able to go in and siphon out what was for us to take, and what was there for us to leave, and what was there for us to transform. You know, many of us come from families that didn't express themselves much. They didn't talk much. So one of the things that you'll find with my generation, our generation, we talk a lot, you know, sometimes too much. You know, I'm so guilty of that. Just talking my children into the ground, and they'll let you know. They'll let you know. They'll be like, "Oh man, mommy she gonna talk to us, Lord." You know, they don't want that, because they know that from beginning to end, you know, we're not gonna walk away until I feel we have some kind of understanding and solution. And I think that's one of the things that we are just so easy to do. We just throw everything away. You know, a great example of that is when people start to move away from things like religion, i.e. Christianity, spirituality, you know, Islam, Judaism, and other forms of spirituality, and they walk into this unknown, unnamed spirituality. A lot of people will say African, but even that, they tend to look at it in a very indoctrinated way. When we start to look at those things, they just throw all the books away. They throw away the Bible, they throw away the Quran, they throw away the Torah, they just throw everything away. And it's like, whoa. It was some good stuff in there. You know, my nana, my grandma used to tell us inside of every book is 99 lies and one truth. And it's your job to go in there and find the truth that's for you. You know, so as you see, I ain't threw none of my books away. I got books on. I got more books than I got friends. I got more books than I got money. I got more books than I got jokes, and everybody know I got jokes. So let me just let you know, we can't just throw things away. And the same thing goes for our mothers. We cannot just throw them away because they weren't our idea of what perfect was. And what are we measuring them against? This is one of the things I asked the question is like, well, what mother did you see that was this perfect mom? What did you think a perfect mom was supposed to do? And, I love the ones who be like, well, she wouldn't let me. Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. She kept you alive. You know what I mean? She kept you alive. That's right there. That's the key. Well, some people, well, oh, she beat me. Listen, we can deal with that separately. That's a separate issue. It's a reason she did that. Is it a good reason? Probably not for you, but somewhere in there, that toxic behavior that she picked up is something that was learned. I never forget the very first time that I realized my Nana might not have been perfect. Well, you could have knocked me over with a feather. I was like, what do you mean my grandma wasn't perfect? My grandma was perfect. She made cookies. Yeah, she gave us tea. She let us watch TV on her black and white TV. She was an angel, And then I realized my mother was raised with her and my aunties and my uncle. And I was like, oh, well, she might not have been as nice to them as she is to us, And I think that we just need to remember that we are human and we are here learning. We are all here discovering. So, connecting with our actual mothers or the women who raised us as mothers, That's very important. Just examining them. I'm not saying that you got to go and lay your head in their lap. What I'm saying is take a look at their life and you'll see what they see, in the words of Mary J. You know, take a look at their life, you know, and it'll help you begin to understand why your life kind of turned out the way it did. And that's not to say that that gives them an excuse, but it gives you a source and some place for you to begin to do the healing, because again, it is a healing that needs to take place. And you know, here at MaWuLisa Temple, we talk about healing out loud and we talk about healing together. There is no shame in needing to heal at all. You know, we are you and these bugs.
You know I had to struggle. I was itching. I've been itching for like 20 minutes. I'm like, ooh, the balls. Let me get.
You know,
I'm
but
good.
you know, it's no shame in healing. And so, you know, every year in the fall, MaWuLisa Temple does the series Retire Your Family Karma. That is one of the hardest books I think I've ever had to continue to go through over and over again, because every time you go through it, you go a little bit deeper into your family and you learn a little bit more, and a little bit more is revealed. And, you know, if you are amongst the fortunate, when I say fortunate, I mean those who are able to stay focused and in self long enough to get through the process of some of the, you know, some of the things that book takes you through, you are able to find out some amazing things. And it's really one of those, it's one of those things where you are sometimes surprisingly sad but glad at the same time, because it gives you a source of where something comes from. We are a very why people. I know I am super duper inquisitive. I want to know why to everything. I will why you until you be like, okay, look, I don't know no more. Just don't ask me anything else. I'll be like, well, why don't you know anything else? You know, that is so I just like, you know, but we are inquisitive people, as we should be, because this is the way we learn. We ask questions, we seek things out. And there's no way that you can do knowledge itself without acknowledging where you came from, you know. And so while we are giving honor to the mothers, but we got to remember the fathers too. We are a combination of those two people, who are a combination of 4 other people, who are a combination of 8 other people. So it's like when we start to really scale down to who we are a combination of a whole lot of folk. And so if you're the one that was chosen in your family to do the work to figure out who you are, what we are, where we come from, all that good stuff, be prepared. It's a ugly, painful, sacrificial, thankless road, and lonely as a mug. Lonely. You can be in a room with 1,000 people and you are still lonely. You know why? Because you are seeking out something that a lot of people are not. Many people, they prefer to stay ignorant to what's going on, because once you know, and then you have to go in. And a lot of people don't want to do that.
That's definitely real. That is definitely real. I want to play something real quick just to get your thoughts, just because we be thinking all the time, and I love how you think. So
Thank you.
I'm going to play this clip from Dr. Betty Shabazz's daughter about asking her mother why she never remarried.
Fred, great to see you. Yasha Shabazz in the barbershop, letting you know you got family in here with you. I'm the oldest grandson of Bishop Charles Little. Me and my son enjoy your books.
Oh,
Hey, yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
You know, and so there are a lot of men in the Little family were, you know, bishops, reverends, ministers, men of the cloth, including my father for Islam. Yeah.
Lonnie DeCarlo has a question for you. When was the moment you realized the huge impact your father had on our culture?
When I went to college, and people started chasing me around campus and saying, "Are you Malcolm X's daughter?" and I didn't know. I was really petrified because I had not experienced that before. Because my mother, as I said, she was extremely overprotective, and so that was when I realized.
Did your mother answer, if not many, if not all, your questions about your father and the history of him?
Well, my mother didn't talk. She never talked about when he was gunned down, but she just always said the greatest things that you can imagine about her husband, and she blushed when she spoke of him.
Interesting. Why is that, you think?
Because he was amazing. I mean, when I asked her why didn't she remarry, she said, "Who would I have married after Malcolm?"
Wow.
Right. So she continued to love him. I mean, she's buried on top of him.
Yeah, speaking of buried, I actually, my trip to Mecca is Ferncliff Cemetery once a year. I go there once a year, and I visit your mother and your father.
Oh, that's nice.
Typically around May, I go there. And ironically enough, he's buried in the same cemetery as James Baldwin. I find that so poetic. Right. I find that so poetically awesome. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
she said it best. Who do you marry after that? Who do you marry after that? Again, we allow people to be who they are, right? And everybody has their greatness, but someone like him, and believe me, we have a lot of brothers that are deep as the ocean, but again, this is a lonely road. So many times once you're on this path and you lose that one that you had, you pretty much, you just don't look too much anymore. You tend to just want to be the best version of yourself, continuing the work of the person that you were with, if that makes sense. I've been divorced a long time, and while my husband was no Malcolm X, he was profound enough in his space, that he made an impact. And so when I am looking for a partner, you're not just looking for someone to come in and say, "Hey, let's go to the club." That kind of stuff doesn't move me. You'll be better off saying, "Let's go to the bookstore." And now you got my, and if you say, "Let's go to the bookstore and the hardware store," bruh, I'm in there. Because I could always use a new saw or a new orbital sander or something. You know what I'm saying? So trust me when I tell you, but choosing partners is hard anyway. It's just hard anyway. And he had a very unique job to do, and she was chosen to be by his side when he did this work. So that means she was given a very specific job too. And I can only imagine the pressure that was on her to not only carry on his name and his work, but continue to keep that to be a thing that didn't get dirtied up. A lot of people will come in and dirty up your work, and it is best sometimes to just have nothing. And this is when you were talking about that sacrifice. This is one of those places you just, I can't answer any better than that, because her daughter answered it best, and she was there with her. But I can only imagine just in my own journey how difficult it's been to find people that match my energy, because this is not she just does this on the weekend. This is every day, all day, from the time I open my eyes to the time I close my eyes. This is what I do. And if you are here just for we gonna catch the highlight reel, this ain't where you want to be. Cause I'm down in the dungeons, I'm up in the attics, I'm out in the caves, I'm in the field, I'm wherever I need to be in order to connect more deeply with myself and with this great universe that, you know, I'm a part of.
I mean, she was his nurse.
Yes.
She was the nurse who nursed him back to wholeness. And he was her fire,
Yes.
who lit a fire in her that she longed for.
Yes.
Because she was taken in by a family who could not conceive, they honored her as the miracle child that she was. So she was nurtured. So she was a natural nurturer and a natural healer. You know, the one who gave you the bedside manner, the one who gave you the care, the one who could recognize your ailment and affliction and give you a prescription. She was that one. So she saw what everybody else didn't see. She saw his charisma, she saw his quick wit, his intelligence, like everybody else did. But she also saw someone who was alone and
Yes.
around people that he could not trust. And
Yes.
she was the divine help me for God's expectations and mission on the life of this man. And he prepared her for his departure. He
Yes.
prepared her for the cruelness of those who came in black skin and those who came in white skin, who would come after her and who would encircle her and the family. And the greatest gift, I believe, this is just in my own estimation, is that she kept his family together because they both knew the horrors of their family being separated from them. So everybody and their mama came after her to try to deem her unfit and all of the things that they tried to do. But that legacy of his mother shining through her, fighting off everybody, and I mean everybody, and the 32 years that she dwelled after his departure and the work that she did with young black women in general, but young black mothers in particular, is unfathomable and not qualitatively analyzed enough from an organizer, from the life with these 6 children, her getting her doctorate, and all of those things still happening in the mix and keeping black children in the houses with their families because that became a vocation to disrupt and separate black families. You know, that's a vocation. That's somebody's job. You know, they get paid a lot of money for it. And the caseloads are immense. So that ability to be a nurse, that ability to be a healer, and that ability to switch it up and be a flame and a tidal wave and a tsunami and a hurricane and an earthquake. You understand what I'm saying about her family, about the legacy also is remarkable. So mentioning you in the same vein, you know, whether you tell the world or you don't tell the world, those who know, you know, and those who don't know, God bless them. You understand what I'm saying? So, yes. Before we close, I want to ask you about the Unread Book Club. You understand? I was a guest over there. Like, I want to beg to see if I could come over there like once a month, you know, because the books y'all be going. I'll be like, how come I ain't get invited to this discussion? And when I see that, I'm like, that book, like, why I ain't get, like, you understand what I'm saying? So, you know, but tell us about the Unread podcast.
If you don't mind, before I go into Unread, I want to kind of just circle back to the beginning of our conversation, if that's okay.
Do what you like.
Because of what you just said about our honorable mother. You talked about reconnecting and how do we reclaim, and you know this womb that bore us. We spoke very we spoke very generally about connecting with the physical wombs that bore us. There's a cosmic womb that bore us as well. And, in this birth that we have happened several times over and over again. And people, tend to miss it because it's so subtle. You come into this world not knowing anything, right? And when we begin to grow and do the work and everything, we have these spiritual revelations that happens, this quickening, if you will, of the spirit that shows us that we are deeper connected to things than just this physical earth. But what you mentioned was the nurturing aspect of it, and how not only was she the nurturer, she was the tsunami, she was the fire, she was all the things, and the earth is representative of that. And even when we look at the treatment of the earth, you ask what things we can do to get back to that. Treat the earth better, treat our women better, treat ourselves better, and we'll treat everything else. I find it almost funny that people want to do this race to outer space. Oh, bars. This race to outer space, but they don't take care of the mud ball they walking on. And it's like, okay, help me understand how you going to go somewhere else and do better than you are in the place where you are, So, I really encourage people to remember, especially my sisters, that we are every woman. Like, truly, Shaka Khan made that song. I remember it coming out when I was a young lady. We are every woman. We are the nurse. We are the mother. We are the warrior. We are the goddess. We the devils. We are all the things. We are all the things. And, we have to be aware of this and the impact that it has on those around us. And one of the things she said outside of why she never got married again, she said she was a fierce protector of her children. I can totally relate to that. I have children. I was a fierce protector of them. I took them out of the school system because I felt like the school system wasn't giving them what they needed or protecting them. So I brought them home. I kept them very sheltered, but at the same time, I kept them very full. I allowed them to understand the fullness of what it is to be nurtured, not just in word. So, if, I was to encourage anyone to do anything, is to make sure that you have women in your life that not only are balanced enough to be able to support you, but also be able to pour into you while still fortifying herself, because she'll need it, and finally, the point I would like to make is that this is not a job that can be done alone. We really need each other. Sometimes I'm disappointed at how hard it is to get our people to come together to do anything good. If you say it's a fight going on down the block, everybody running. If you say it's a lecture going on down the block, they're like, oh, well, who lecturing? Is it going to be recorded? Can I buy it later? Is it going to be a tape? Is it going to be on video? Is they streaming it? Get your ass down the street. I'm sorry, but just go. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the places where I get annoyed with the internet, because it made people lazy. You used to have to go out and get it. You had to show how much you really wanted it. You wasn't laying in the bed listening to no lecture. You wasn't doing that. You had to go. You had to ask questions. And this is how we were able to come together and connect and find others. This is a group effort. In the moment that we really realize that things will change in ways that I can't even begin to tell you. But to study yourself, crazy important. Connecting with others, it is not only going to help you in studying yourself, it'll allow you to connect with others who have strengths in places where you need some fortification. And our brothers, for all of those who are listening, we need you. We need you to be the glue for us. You know, let's talk about it now. I ain't gonna get too deep, but men have been like the pry in between folks, have women fighting all up over each other and, you know, acting all the fool. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Just know, brothers, that we are here to help you. And the one thing that Mother Shabazz was able to do was to let that man know he was safe. And as women, this is something we have to do. We have to let our children and we have to let our men know they are safe. But in order to do that, we have to be safe in ourselves. We have to be able to trust ourselves and trust our sisters. Because when one of us is not around, the other one need to pick up that slack. And that's just how that go. Whoever don't like it, you're not being realistic. Like you said, these is lessons that you're going to get whether you like them or not. And they going to be whether you like them or not. So I just wanted to close that part up because we have to reconnect with all of our whole self, which means our brothers and sisters as well, because we are all one. Okay. So now unread every other Saturday. Me and Nick, you know, you had Nick on the intro. I said, you know, I know a lot of people did commercials for you, if you will, for your promos for you for your book. Nick did the best. Like, he's like the hands down winner. You know what I mean? But it would take an English professor to come in and do the thing, right? But every 2 weeks, Nick and I, over on his channel, Mr. Westbrooks, Professor Westbrooks, we do a unread series where we cover books that are on our bookshelves that are either unread or require, you know, or we recommend for a reread. We have authors over like yourself to come in over and talk about your process, about your book, your target audience, things like that. Share with us some of the nuggets that you were able to impart upon us, you know, in our books. Again, a lot of people just throw the books away. You know, I know people who will listen to every book on audio and will not pick up a book. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. Everybody learns different. But nonetheless, this is a place where we talk about a lot of the books that have either caught our attention, or, you know, on this journey, or have been beneficial to us on this journey. And we love what we do. We are both, you know, well, I'll speak for myself. We clowns. So we always have some fun with it. We do have a lot of serious topics we talk about. And so we try to bring some levity to it and just remind the people, while some of this stuff, you know, may seem deep, ain't nothing deeper than you. And when you start to take these things and really look at how it applies to you, and how you can apply it to your daily walk, we are pleased with the outcome to say that many people have talked about the benefits that they've got from, you know, coming and joining us on Unread. And you are always welcome back, brother. We appreciate that. And any of the other authors who are out there who happen to come across this broadcast, please know that we would be honored to have you on our platform and share your work. You know, this is about legacy. Another thing that, you know, Dr. Shabazz understood was that, you know, securing the legacy of our people is one of the things that will help us to continue to grow and be strong.
That's a bar. Bars on top of bars today.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I'll be looking at the, you know what I'm saying? I catch the replay. I'll be like, man, okay. Man.
Oh, we got some good ones. We got some good ones coming up this year. We're excited.
Like, I need a little something. Can I be invited? Can I be involved? You understand?
Yes, you may. Yes, you may, beloved. Yes,
you know, Mother May. Do they still do that from back then?
Yeah, well, you know what? They may not, but I'm old enough to remember. Right. So, yes, you may.
You know what I'm saying? To Brother Nick, Brother May. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you may. Yes, you may. I really appreciate being here. You know, again, this being the end of women's, you know, history. You know, I I'm one of those people that struggle and say that every day is Women's History, just like every day is Black History, and every day is Father's Day, and every day is Mother's Day. I'm one of those people that struggle with that. But, you know, for the sake of argument, and this being the last day, I am honored to be here and be one of the sisters that you chose to share on this platform during this time. And I just want to give all my sisters their flowers and thank them for being reflections and helping me become a better woman. I really, truly appreciate you. And I thank my brothers for being patient with me and trusting me and allowing me to be a nurturing space for them in whatever capacity that I am in their lives. I truly appreciate it. It's an honor to be trusted, and I take it very seriously.
Thank you for being a thug and a gangster too when you need to be, because you know,
proper.
It is. So final thoughts as we close. Thank you, Queen Mother, for coming through and being celebrated here. You know, I know you be kind of shunning away from that, like you about to, you know, I don't need all that. But I'm telling you, if I can't tell you now at your janaza and I'm out here snotting and crying and I ain't never said it to you, then what the hell was it? Was it true or was it false? You understand what I'm saying? So, thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate that. May that janaza be a long, long way away.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, take your time.
I you know what? I totally understand. And this is one of the reasons why it's so important that we reconnect like we do, you know, with nature, with nurture, with mother, with father. You know, we did a series on the nurturing of fathers and how important it was. You know, I wasn't raised with my biological father. I had a stepfather who was diabolical, but yet and still, I still learned lessons, you know. So it's just important that we really connect with that nurture part of us, because the nature part of us is going to take over regardless. You know, you will see who a person truly is at their core when you get them to that point, you know. So, you know, that nurture part is the part that we got to continue to work on, because that's the part that's going to uplift fallen humanity.
That's what it is. So where can people find you? How can they get a hold of you? You know what I'm saying? All of the social media / other stuff. And if you got
well, you know, I'm always around.
Up, you want
just call promote. Out, you know, call out to me, call out to the universe, and I'm out. No, but seriously, on Instagram, at MaWuLisa Temple 1, email MaWuLisa Temple at gmail.com, YouTube MaWuLisa with the Z 4610. And you know, again, I am always easy to get to. I love being available. I'm always here for service. That has been my job for the last 35 years, and I honor it. And you know, since I've been in these spaces and these places doing lectures in lecture halls on VHS tapes, you know, I have not put down my sword or my shield, because I know that this is a battle worthy of all of my efforts. And again, making sure that I'm the best self that I can be is how I honor that. And that's for my brothers and sisters. So please always reach out to me if you feel I can help you in any way. And don't forget to check out Unread and come on there and share some of your favorite books with us as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Indubitably. You know what I'm saying? Indubitably. Thank you, Queen Mother. I love you. Honest to you and your divine royal family, your lineage. You know, may Allah be pleased with you all and give you the greatest reward that is due for the work that you have done, are doing, and will do.
I mean, I appreciate you, and I appreciate that dua, and I mean, may your family continue to do the great work, because you are definitely leaving a legacy that is something to be reckoned with, bro. I'm proud of you. I am so very proud of you, and I know our mothers are as well.
All right, so we out of here. I got one more interview to do today, and
all right,
tell you something. When you tell you something, I'm tell you something. Right? So we out. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace, everyone.
Here, the centuries of loneliness were to end.
Your collection of Leonardo da Vinci masterpieces, Mr. Flint.
They appear to have been recently painted on contemporary canvas with contemporary materials.
Then, age, death, the taste of dust. Do you understand?
You wanted a perfect, ultimate woman. As brilliant, as immortal as yourself. Your mate for all time.
Merkaba master, I charter demons to other worlds, drive devils to plaster, rush them to hell, breathing asthma, place Satan on gurneys next to Hermes, send them off to their journey to Cleopatra. They read those chapters, egos captured, the Leo laughter, neoplasma, run through my veins in this matrix, and my basement became a plaza. And now I'm in the Sky Lounge with negative spirit hackers, build on math and we read the chapters, observe through our windows at the quiet disasters, riots at NASA, marches, gender pride, freedom rights for the masses, till we do away with first and second citizen classes. Religion is backwards, trying to comprehend to the pastor. This gym is like Jasper. Either we all live and strive for the youth to survive, or it all ends with the rapture. Forget waiting on the man, I'm making a plan. And for the ages of false statements, I'm taking a stand. Start an investigation on Satan with a cross in my hand. Make him plead guilty, now face the jury. We're in the courts of I am. If I could just vanish from off the planet, like magic, become caught from granite. Days, mathematics is understanding.
Hey, hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear. Hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear.
A billion stories in the naked city. Ghost told me that his best friend needs a kidney. We froze, reminiscing Tiffany in the cold. Open whiskey from the 20s in the memory. Sympathy made the angels play a symphony. Said he could've had a scholarship, toured different colleges. Now he's out of it, faded away slowly on dialysis. His name remained anonymous, but here's my acknowledgements. Street legends and hood guards, kingdom fall into a mirage. Ghetto depression sets in, then we place weed and cigars. A child has difficulties concentrating. From where he lives, he sees his promises fading. He sees his pops gone, his mom's is aging. She trying to stay strong for a church congregation. And meanwhile, a kid named Rico was the coke king. A lot of siblings are the dope fiends, hope you scream. A lot of children with broken dreams, homes were clean. The most extreme, you got rich and what you sold to queens. Look what you did to Josephine. And Ebony is unheavenly, the devil's ready with open wings. As Lucifer uses love and his youthful mug, then his blood on the cobra's fangs.